really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than what it was. But well, I really feel like it should have been over with, because the first time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father, when I was 8 years old, my mom came up to me and was like, "Hey Rob, I got something to tell you. That's your dad for real. That you don't just say this type of person is your father, Jay-Z." It is important that I know who my biological father is. I don't know how he feeling. Like I would hope he would think about it.
It's beginning to seem like there may be more going on with Jay-Z than people first believed. Recently, Blue Ivy is said to have come across a situation that could be one of the most serious yet. This comes at a time when some are accusing him of trying to silence talk about his alleged estranged son, Rymir Satterthwaite, who is also rumored to be Blue's half-brother. Things get more complicated from there. Reports suggest that Blue Ivy wants to stay completely out of it. In the beginning, many thought Jay-Z was simply trying to avoid attention because of past claims involving Rymir's mother when she was very young. But now, it's starting to look like there could be much more to the story than anyone originally expected.
That she met Jay-Z,
Yes.
and had intercourse with him. How old was she?
I would say I think she was about 16, 17, or 16, just turning 16 or 17. I know it was one of them.
And Jay-Z was what age?
I wouldn't happen to know. I think was he in his 20s?
I read 22.
Oh, yeah.
I think I read 22, but he was in his 20s.
Yes, I wouldn't happen to know his age, but 22, I'm pretty sure if they put that out there, then
Yeah.
that's what his age was.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out to our audience that Jay-Z having sex with a minor would make that child rape because she was underage at the time. And then furthermore, the fact that he took her from one state to another state, I imagine would be in a violation of state laws.
Wow.
So moving forward.
For those who may not know the background of the situation between Jay-Z and Rymir Satterthwaite, here's a simple breakdown of how it all started. Rymir has claimed that Jay-Z is his father. According to him, the story goes back to 1992, when Jay allegedly got his mother, Wanda Satterthwaite, pregnant and then left her to handle things on her own. Before she passed away, Wanda reportedly signed a written statement that was later shared publicly. In it, she explained her version of events. She said they met through a mutual friend and spent time together that same night at his aunt's place in Brooklyn. She claimed they tried to be careful, but things didn't go as planned, and she became pregnant with Rymir. The situation didn't end there. For years, Wanda tried to contact Jay-Z, but she said it was very difficult to reach him. Because of this, she listed her then-boyfriend, Robert Graves, as the father on Rymir's birth certificate. Later, after their relationship ended, Robert removed his name, and Wanda continued trying to connect with Jay-Z. She also attempted to seek child support, but according to these claims, the case was dismissed. This struggle reportedly continued for many years, right up until her death in 2019. After she passed, Rymir decided to speak out. He began pushing for answers and made it clear he didn't want to be ignored like he believes his mother was. Since then, the situation has turned into an ongoing dispute, with Rymir continuing to press for the truth. There's another layer to the story as well. Rymir's godmother, Lily Colley, has said that Jay-Z initially seemed willing to take a paternity test. However, she claims that things quickly changed once new lawyers became involved. She believes the situation became more serious for him, especially because of claims about Wanda's age at the time. Since then, Rymir and his supporters have pointed to what they see as legal issues, missteps, and possible coordination behind the scenes. They've made it clear they plan to keep fighting. Rymir and Lily later spoke in an interview with journalist Liz Krogan, where they shared their experiences and explained what they say they've been dealing with since going public. They discussed their side openly and in detail. Adding to the intensity, there's also mention of Kathy White. Liz Krogan had previously looked into the unusual details surrounding her death and has been known for asking tough questions. So when she learned about Rymir's claims, she chose to investigate further without hesitation.
That it seemed that Jay-Z, via his people, were willing to work something out behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden that stopped. Why? Why do you think that he is refusing to take a paternity test and stopped, working with you all behind the scenes. What was driving that, in your opinion?
Well, part of it was a rumor that was told that he didn't like the fact that this particular case was in the public, and he had a problem with Ramir putting it in the public, which was not Ramir, was his mother. So basically, in a nutshell, I just believe that was a big part of it. He didn't like the fact that it was in public. There was a time that Mr. Carter was trying to resolve the matter in the very beginning, and he was doing it in the best interest of Ramir. And then somewhere he left his heart and started thinking with his head.
Do you think part of it is because Wanda was 16?
Yeah, well, definitely that's the big part of it. The allegations that we have, that the affidavit says that Wanda was 16 and he was 22. That's in Wanda's own words.
Right.
So therefore, that would be something that would make some people uncomfortable.
Right. Well, it's a crime. But for the record, you did tell me that Wanda told you that she did tell Jay-Z that she was of legal age. Is that true?
Right. She did tell me that she told him she was 18 or something, whatever she told him.
There were also earlier claims that Jay-Z had made threats toward Rymir Satterthwaite. According to Lily Colley, the situation became even more serious after they chose not to drop the case. She said that both she and Rymir began to feel unsafe, believing they were being followed by armed individuals. This reportedly caused a lot of fear and concern for their safety. Rymir is also said to have gone to the police to report what was happening. However, based on their claims, no action was taken, and they felt they were left without protection.
Believe that Beyonce may have been one of the reasons why there wasn't a resolution.
I do believe that. Like in the very beginning, they didn't have a daughter, and there was seemed like we were understanding there was complications in getting conceived, etc.
Right.
And I felt like that would make some women, and seem like for her, she would fit that bill, uncomfortable about him having a fully grown son with a talent.
Right.
So I do believe that she had a problem. If it was true, she would have a problem with the fact that Rymir was in the picture or coming in the picture, because that was a vulnerable time.
Right.
But clearly now, 10 years later, 12 years later, you would think somebody would say, hey, let's just get this out of the way.
Rymir also tried to find answers on his own. Rymir Satterthwaite reportedly took a DNA test through an ancestry service, hoping it would connect him to Jay-Z's family. But according to the claims, the results never came through. It's even been suggested that something may have interfered with the process, which only made the situation more confusing and raised further questions. There's more. Another woman, Letitia Masso, has also publicly said that Jay-Z is her father. Reports say she spent years trying to get a DNA test as well. When that didn't happen, she also turned to ancestry tracing and claimed it linked her to his family. However, just as her story began to gain attention, it's been alleged that she reached a private agreement and then stopped speaking about it entirely. Because of that, Rymir believed following a similar path might finally give him clear answers. But based on these claims, his attempt didn't lead anywhere, and the process ended without any solid results.
He had to go to the police about several things. There's people, like you said, came into the property. Some of them knocked on Rymir's window. They wanted Rymir to drop the case of suspect early on. There's been a lot of what they call intimidation.
The story takes another turn with claims from Lily Colley. She says that concerns grew behind the scenes after Blue Ivy Carter was born. According to Lily, Beyonce was not comfortable with the situation being handled in public, especially if it meant acknowledging Rymir Satterthwaite. From her point of view, that could have brought intense public attention and raised many personal questions about their family. Because of this, Lily believes there may have been pressure to keep the matter private and out of the spotlight. She suggests that this could be one reason why the situation has continued for so long without a clear outcome. Clip 6. Many people believe Jay-Z was trying to shut the situation down simply to keep his past private. But according to these claims, there may have been a more personal concern, keeping it from affecting his family, especially Blue Ivy Carter. The idea was that if Blue Ivy learned about the situation, it could create tension at home. At the same time, there were already rumors online about their personal lives, including speculation involving Kathy White. Adding another serious claim into the mix could have made things even more difficult. Things reportedly escalated when Rymir Satterthwaite filed a federal lawsuit in California, stating that Jay-Z is his biological father. In the filing, he made several strong accusations, including claims of fraud, withheld evidence, emotional distress, and avoiding a paternity test. He also requested DNA testing, saying he wanted clear answers and closure, while again referencing claims about his mother's age at the time. Jay-Z's legal team responded quickly, rejecting the accusations and asking the court to dismiss the case, arguing that the claims had no legal basis. After a lengthy legal dispute, Rymir eventually chose to withdraw the lawsuit. Even so, the situation didn't fully come to an end and continued to raise questions.
.com, and that's basically say they didn't give me my paperwork back. Like, I did the swab and spit in it and then get sent it to them, and when I called to try to get my information, basically it was an error, and I never heard of that.
There was an error? They wouldn't give you your paperwork?
They won't give me my paperwork from Ancestry.com. Now you have people saying use 23andMe, and I just want people to know, like, the courts got my DNA, so if they wanted to test my DNA, for me just to keep spending all this money, these guys can test it. It's Jay-Z and them, and it's the judges. They have everything they need, so obviously I'm not out of the fight, and I won't stop. It's not just about no Jay-Z. I'm not just chasing Jay-Z. That's not what it's about. My mom passed away fighting this case until she was gone. So that's more important to me than...
When Blue Ivy Carter reportedly became aware of the situation, the reaction being described was far from easy. She has grown up in the spotlight, with Jay-Z and Beyonce seen as powerful and respected figures. So hearing multiple claims and controversies all at once would be overwhelming for anyone. First, there were discussions linked to Kathy White. Then more stories about Jay-Z's past began circulating. On top of that, the situation involving Rymir Satterthwaite gained attention as well. According to Online Talk, this led to claims that Blue Ivy wanted to distance herself and avoid being connected to it. It's important to note that much of this is still based on rumors and speculation. Still, some people have tried to piece things together. For example, Jay-Z has appeared more openly in interviews, at times sharing moments that show a strong bond with his daughter. In one interview, he described a touching moment of her wearing something with his name on it, showing pride and support. At the same time, the internet has been full of mixed reactions. Some believe there could be more to the story, while others think it's being exaggerated. Comments online range from people questioning why he hasn't addressed everything directly, to others saying the situation should have been handled privately long ago. What's keeping the conversation alive is the mix of silence and small new details coming out from time to time. That contrast has made some people more curious, wondering if there's more happening behind the scenes. In the end, this has become an ongoing story where each new claim adds another layer. Opinions are divided, and the discussion isn't slowing down anytime soon.